Senator. Good morning.
Good morning.
What a blessed day this is. All days are blessed, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I am so appreciative to look out and see each and every one of you here today. As Candace said, on a holiday weekend, this is a magical moment. Thank you. For the last, well, if you've been coming at all to the Center for Joyful Living, you know that we have a monthly theme. And so for the last month, our theme has been, now hold on. Also, I should preface the whole talk by saying that I am exhaling, taking a breath. I'm looking at Donna. No. She said,
I'm breathing too.
and she's breathing too. So our theme for this month has been spiritual wizardry. And for each week for the whole month, we talked about, Reverend Kathleen has talked about a different area of spiritual wizardry. And when I first heard the word wizardry, of course, I thought of Gandalf with this big hat and, the stars. And I began to dig a little bit deeper. And and I began to dig a little bit deeper, and so I came up with an idea. Today's topic is called, Do You Believe in Magic? Okay? So I want to give you that just from the get-go, because as soon as we hear the word magic, something happens. You get an image of something. And usually it's, a guy with the black suit and a top hat, and he takes it off, and he waves a wand, and brings out a rabbit, says abracadabra, and, it's a magic. So what I would like for you to do is shift your thinking a little bit from that image of abracadabra to the image of spiritual alchemy, which is also magical. And spiritual alchemy is the idea of shifting from that which we have thought to be our reality into a new reality. See, the Center for Joyful Living and our whole philosophy is based on what's called ancient wisdom, new thought. And so ancient wisdom, of course, is the wisdom of the ages. It has come down from time immemorial, and all that there has ever been is one. And so that wisdom and the wisdom teaching has always been with us. We carry it with us right within our hearts. We are born knowing that we are magical beings, knowing that we are powerful beings, knowing that this is our heritage. We are divinely inherited from the one. And so in ancient wisdom, new thought, what we ask you to do is take that wisdom that we know is inside, hasn't gone anywhere, it doesn't change. They call it ageless because it's all eternal. It's always the truth. It never changes. Principle is principle. It doesn't shift from one to another because we move to a different experience. It's still the same principle. And so what I'm asking you to do is to think of the ancient wisdom and the oneness and the unity of all that has ever been and ever will be, and think of a new thought about it. Think a new thought about this magic of shifting into a different reality just by shifting and changing your thoughts and your mind about it. And so if your original thought, when we said magic and all if your original thought was like hocus pocus, we're going to take that thought and just throw it out the window and give it a new thought, and that's what we are here. That's what we do here in New Thought, because we say change your thinking, change your life. And so what I would ask you to do is just to stay right here present in this moment, forget about all that stuff that went on before, all that might just happen when you leave, what if, all of that, and just stay present in the now moment, because this is the only moment that we have. And so, as we shift into the present moment, and we think about magic in a whole new way, I have a quote for you. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You've heard it, we've heard it over and over again. So what does that mean? That means that if we are thinking of practicing alchemy, or the magic of self-transformation, which is what that is, into a new way of thinking, then there's no better time to do that than now. And so right here, right now, here you are, and I am. We are the pearl within the shell. We are the gem. We are the blessing. And you might say, well, that's magic. And if I said, abracadabra, there's a pearl inside that shell, you'd say, yeah, it is. And it's the same thing. If we look inside our own shell, which is inside our heart, transform the way we think about what's inside there, know that we are the gem that's inside this heart of ours, inside, never changing. And then when we step out into the world, we step out as now a precious gem, not in fear, doubt, and worry, not in, am I going to be all right? Is this a shift and change? Am I going to make it through this current wave of unrest? Well, the answer is yes, if that is your choice. When we come from the gem of who we are and know that that is more valuable than you could ever think it would be, because it's representative of what we carry inside of us. So, the quote is from Norman Vincent Peale. We've heard of him. And if I can read it, I'm a little challenged with my vision today. It says, people often manufacture their own unhappiness by the negative manner in which they think about things. Work with your mind, exercise disciplinary control, and reshape your thoughts for happier living. Drain the mind by consciously connecting yourself in every way and releasing every destructive thought, every fear, every inferiority feeling. Picture your mind as completely empty, and then start filling it with thoughts of God, and start filling it with thoughts of goodness. Empty your mind, release all the things that we may have thought about that created a limitation in our lives, because thoughts are vain and they do create, and we'll get more into that in a little bit. So, unhappy thinking produces unhappy lives. Happy thinking produces happy lives. It's as magical as the pearl in the oyster shell. So we become what we think. One of the old, I would say, teachers from way back, C.W. Leadbeater, did a premier work on thought forms. And he came up with an understanding of an ancient concept that thought forms are real. So let me share this with you. I can see it. It says, thought, I don't know why I decided I was going to read all these quotes after getting my eye worked. I don't know whether they go like this or
You got it.
Okay, in his book called Thought Forms, this is what Leadbeater and his co-author Anya Besant said. Thought has the capacity of influencing not only ourselves, but other people, either for good or for ill, as well as coloring the general psychic atmosphere of the world, realizing that we become responsible for the consequences of our thoughts. We are affected by our own thought patterns, particularly those that we are habituated in nature. Since the adage, we become what we think. And so, coming from way back, Leadbeater tells us about thought forms are real, and now we're hearing in New Thought, many people grounded, but now we can fly. And so when we fly, we want to fly in an environment that we create. We don't want to be a butterfly, still trying to figure out how to get from under the table. We want to create what we want. And so here we teach visioning, which is another part of magic. Because the scriptures say without vision a people perish. And so we lost that somehow at, I think, some part of the way, or some of us did anyway. And we did a different form. We got into visualization, which is not quite the same as vision. So visualization is a little bit different. But what we do is vision. That means that this thing.
Just take it off.
We
It's
can
not
hear
working
you
anymore.
without it.
Thank you. I'll just let it be.
Yes.
I released that. So what we teach is visioning. Once we are open to who we really are in truth, once we know that we are the pearl within the shell, once we know that we are the lapidarian that takes a rough stone and cuts it and polishes it and shines it and turns it into a beautiful gemstone, there's no going back. There's no going back. Once we know the truth, we can't forget it. We can act like we don't know it, but we really do, because the truth always resides within. And we know who we are in truth. It's just a simple fact. Because there's only one. And so once we get into alignment with that, once we get into alignment with the ancient wisdom that prevails, that God is all there is, or you might say, my higher self, or you could call all that there really ever is, the eternal. You could say Alpha, Omega. You could say whatever the word that you understand the concept of an eternal being, a creator, a God, whatever that is. Once we open ourselves up and really think about it, and really allow it to get past the ego and the intellect trying to figure it out, there is no real way to figure out, because this is a teaching and this is a knowing that is so intimate. It has to be brought down from the intellect, through the intellect, if you need to go there, documented throughout history in many books and texts, and still being documented. But once we bring it down into acceptance that this is the God that animates my life, and that I am the hands and the feet of God here to do a mighty work. Once we decide what that work is through visioning, and breathe it in, and then we accept it, we clarify it. What am I here to do? You've asked yourself that, I'm sure. Why am I here? What's my purpose? And we all are here for a mission and purpose. Your mission and purpose is your magic. That's when you put all the pieces together. Your mission and purpose is the magic that when you step out and you say, oh, I love you, I connect with you, you are just a listening ear. It's all magical, because we are here to be magical, not just of ourselves, but for others. And by being the magical presence of the Most High in every situation that we put ourselves in, we uplift not only ourselves, but all that we come in contact with, and then they are shifted and changed by you and your idea, and then that idea is spread. Let's make it a good idea. Is spread. Let's accept and catch and hold on to the God-like ideas and qualities while we're visioning. And then when it comes down from the intellect, you understand it, you have the vision, you know what you're doing, it brings you joy, you can't wait to do it. You bring it to your heart, and then you say, what are my gifts and talents? What do I bring to this? What am I willing to do? What am I willing to give? What can I embody? What should I release? What can I become in order to manifest this vision in the physical realm? So we're talking about manifesting, which is the same as, guess what? Magic. It is the magic of creation. We are manifesting the, what was that?
That was opening the door.
Oh, into all that we can ever desire. All that we can ever desire is still here. This is Rumi. This is our Rumi's guest house. And have you heard or familiar with Rumi's guest house? Whoever comes to the door, welcome them in. You know, there could be fear coming to the door. Come on in. Let's work on this fear, because I've got to do this work. I got to get the magic flowing. I got to get rid of the fear of not being good enough. I have to let go of the hesitancy of, oh, I might say the wrong thing. I might step on somebody's toe. I better not do it today. Got to get rid of the fear. If it's hurt, you know, as Candace said earlier, we all have pain, but it's what we do with that pain. And as soon as we transmute that pain, we live through it, we transcend it, we get beyond it, and then we transform it into, this is the magic, we transform that pain into compassion. Because now we felt the pain, we dealt with it, we let it go, we magically transformed it through the renewing of our mind. We changed our thought. Okay? It shifted inside, and we said, or maybe, I am so grateful for this shift in consciousness. I release all that. I let that go, and I am now empowered. I am now abundant. I am now joyful. See? And then that's what we bring to the world. And so when we come in, you know, like Peter said, not only are we do we influence our lives by our thoughts, we influence others. And so if we come into a room with joy and with love and we express that to everyone we meet, what do you think you're going to get back? Joy. Because we move right into, I release, I let go, I let spirit run my life, I bring joy to this situation, power of attraction takes over, joy, 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 and it expands, and then it comes back around, and now everybody's joyful, and that whole joy has filled this room because we have been transformed by the renewing of our mind, new thought. So if something's not working, I don't know what we've got going on here now. If something's not working in our lives, it's okay, you know. We can have a saying around here, it's all good. Well, I said that to a girlfriend one day. I said, oh, she was telling me all this stuff. And I said, you know, it's all good. She said, what are you talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is every experience that we have is for a reason. It's for our growth. It's for our learning. Everybody who comes in contact with us, even people in the stores and the malls, people we come in contact with is a mirror reflection of our lives. And so we know that if we bring happiness into a situation, it grows and expands. If we bring a deep listening ear, then we are not only heard, but we hear. We have to hear each other. What are our thoughts? What are our, and then we can uplift each other on a continuous basis because it's all about love. And once you bring that love in, it's over. Because when you put love in the mix, and make that unconditional love, then whatever that vision is, whatever that thought is that we have conceived, that we have accepted, that we have meditated on, that we have affirmed, that we have clarified, that we have decided that this is for me, I'm doing this is my mission, this is my goal, I'm going to do, and we wash it in the light of love. It's all over. You step out. Fueled by the fire of the Most High God, fueled by that internal flame, when we step out in love, giving our gifts and talents, it's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new world. And that's what we're about. Just by shifting our thinking, just by changing our minds, we can change the world. So I call that sorry. Okay. We can change the world. And I call that magical. This is the sorcerer's robe. But notice it's wonderful. And we're not bringing rabbits out of the hat. We're among the stars. We're reaching. And we're being all that we can be and tell, you know what? It is truly magic. And so if I ask you now for an honest answer, given all that stuff that somebody just said, do you believe in magic?
Yes.
Yes.